It is not only a tale of two cities, it is a tale of two coaches, 52-year-old Walt Michaels and 47-year-old Bart Starr. 2 months ago, they were prime candidates to be deposed as coaches of their respective teams. But each team has now won 6 of their last 7, each team battling for a playoff berth. The Green Bay Packers, spearheaded by 32-year-old Lynn Dickey, coming off a 5-touchdown game last week against New Orleans. The same Lynn Dickey who has directed a Packer team that has scored 101 points in its last 3 games, with All-Pro James Lofton and the addition of John Jefferson from San Diego, giving the Packer offense an added dimension. There is another new change with Green Bay. It has become among the NFL's top teams in turnover ratio. Not only do the Packers hold on to the ball, they also take it from the other team. And so add a powerful offense and an alert defense, and you have the Packers back and on the rise. Meanwhile, Richard Todd, for 5 years living in the memory and the echo of Joe Namath, is now standing on his own 2 feet. He has thrown for 23 touchdown passes this year, only 3 behind the storied Namath and Doro. Lamb Jones, Derek Gaffney, Wesley Walker, Bobby Jones have all added in the attack. And the defense and the names are well known in New York. Gastineau and Klecko and Lyons and Salam, better known as the Sack Exchange. So the question before the House, can the Sack Exchange get to Lynn Dickey? Can the Packers keep them away? The playoff picture is coming into sharp focus.
CBS Sports presents the best of the National Football League. The National Football Conference. Today, the Green Bay Packers versus the New York Jets.
The temperature at game time is 26 degrees. The wind out of the northwest at 15 miles per hour. That would translate into a chill factor of about 3 degrees above zero. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully, along with Hank Stram. And Mark Twain said everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. What about the weather today, and particularly a frozen field?
Well, this is always a treacherous area to play a game in. As you know, Ben, the wind is a factor. The field is a factor. It's frozen. I talked to Jan Stenerud before the game. He was very concerned about the placement of his left foot because he wanted to make sure he didn't slip when he kicked the football. So all those things are very important in this game today.
There's one other thing besides the elements that are always surrounding a ball game, and that would be a tremendous amount of emotion in New York, all centered right now at Shea Stadium.
Yes, and if I were the Green Bay Packers, I'd much rather start the game on defense than I would on offense because of the emotional frenzy of this crowd. The reaction of the crowd to the players is going to be a big factor especially in the early part of the game. So I definitely would want to play defense to start the game. Here we are, Vin. We're ready to stretch the pores. Let's go to work.
Okay, Hank. And the Green Bay Packers won the toss, and they elected to receive. So the New York Jets, Pat Leahy, will be kicking to the deep men, and that would be Turdell Middleton, number 34, and Mike McCoy, number 29. So Leahy kicks it, and this one is underway. And it'll be Middleton starting out at the 6-yard line. Upended at the 15 and dives forward across the 20, and it was Johnny Lynn, who hit him and knocked him down. And they'll mark the ball at about the 22-yard line, and that's where the Pack will put it in play. 1st and 10. Dickey with Huckleberry and Ellis, the running backs. Lofton and Jefferson, the wide receivers. With Concar, Thompson, McCarron, Harris, Cook, and Kaufman up front. So Green Bay fighting the Jets and this tremendous emotional crowd here at Shea Stadium, and Dickey brings them up. Dickey play action fake to Harlan Huckleby, low to Lofton, and Lofton goes down at about the 37-yard line, and the late call ruling it no catch. It was very tough to see, and Lofton trying to curl on the ball, couldn't do it.
One thing that's very important when you play in this kind of a field and this kind of weather, the quarterback really has to do a good job of following through with his throw. Dickey did that time, but he held on to the ball just a little bit too long.
James Lofton just called to the All-Pro Bowl. The youngster who has had an outstanding year in his 4th year out of Stanford, but no catch, so it is 2nd and 10. Jefferson goes wide right with Kaufman a split end and Lofton wide left. And again, Dickey going to send it up, and down he goes, and it was number 93, Marty Lyons, who made the sack. And the sack exchange is in business, and the crowd acting like the Dow Jones has gone over 1,000.
We get a good shot of the outside receiver, Jefferson, slipping, trying to make a cut to the inside, but slipped on and fell on the frozen turf.
So Marty Lyons, 3 years out of Alabama, makes the first sack of the day as Dickey lost his receiver, and it is 3rd and 12 on the Packer 20-yard line. Dickey throwing in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, and that would be his tight end, Kaufman. Kaufman taking a lick from a man they figured to pick on, Jesse Johnson. And so the Packers will have to give it up.
And that's why I mentioned earlier, I'd much rather start the game on defense in this kind of a contest, and it looks like it could be an advantage for the New York Jets, depending on where they get field position after this kick.
Bruce Harper, the multi-purpose back for the New York Jets, is standing on the New York 45. And it'll be Ray Stackowitz, who went to school at Michigan State, and one reason the Packers drafted him, they figured that he was accustomed to cold weather. And you look at Harper now waiting to make the reception. He will also be squinting up into a brilliant sun. Low snap, and Stackowitz running with the ball, now kicking, and it's going to be blocked and finally recovered. The Jets in magnificent field position, and the man who blocked it was Al Washington, number 52.
Here we go, the bad snap. He caught it. He needed a baseball glove to make that play. Decided to run. No place to go. Couldn't have made the first down. Decided to kick it. It's blocked, and the New York Jets have great field position. 1st and 10.
So thanks to Al Washington, who is a rookie out of Ohio State. He's a big guy, 6'3", and it was Washington blocking Stackowitz's attempted punt on the run. And the Jets have it 1st and 10 on the Packer 12-yard line. So Richard Todd with Tom Newton and Freeman McNeil, the running backs. In motion is Lamb Jones. Todd's going to give it to Freeman McNeil, and McNeil driving through to the 5 and kept on going, and we'll see whether they mark the ball. They will mark it at the 2-yard line. Here's the way the Jets stack up offensively. Richard Todd with Freeman McNeil and Tom Newton. Lamb Jones and Wesley Walker, the wide receivers. Then you have Ward, Rasmussen, Fields, Alexander, and All-Pro Marvin Powell, along with Jerome Barkham, the tight end. So from the 2, it is 2nd down. This time, the pack stiffens at about the 1-yard line as Kevin Long tried to punch it over.
Boy, that first play, Chris Ward, Randy Rasmussen, and Joe Fields all did a great job of getting off the ball and providing good running room for Freeman McNeil, who took it right down to about the 2-yard line. Good surge by the offensive line.
So Kevin Long just stopped at the last moment on the sideline. Walt Michaels, who briefly in his career was a member of the Green Bay Packers, and now they tell us that Kevin Long was able to pick up the first down. So it is 1st and goal inside the Packer 1-yard line. Kevin Long and Freeman McNeil. And it's Kevin Long, and no indication that he broke it, and now they give it. He broke the plane of the goal line for the touchdown. There's a problem because McNeil slipped trying to block for him.
Yeah, he got a bad start coming off the ball, but he went through there. He was very high on a short yardage play, but in spite of that, boy, that was very, very close. It didn't look like he really broke the plane.
So Kevin Long squirting over with McNeil slipping, trying to be the lead blocker. And now the point by Pat Leahy. He's 34 out of 35, and add one more for him. So with 12 minutes and 42 seconds left to play in the first quarter, thanks to a bad snap and a block punt, the New York Jets are leading the Green Bay Packers 7-0, and we're just warming up. Jets leading 7-0 over Green Bay with 12:42 left in the first quarter. I'm Vin Scully along with Hank Stram. Pull up a chair. Looks like we're going to have a wingding here. Pat Leahy kicking low into the right side to Mike McCoy. McCoy muffing it, picks it up at the 2. Now to the 10. Across to the 15 and dropped there. One of the first men down to get him was Kirk Springs, who normally is seen as the rookie back. Here's the way the Jets stack up defensively with Gastineau, Salam, Lyons, and Klecko, the New York Stock Exchange, and now called the Sack Exchange, with Buttle, Blinka, and Mel, the linebackers. Johnson and Holmes at the corners, Shroy and Ray at the safeties. And, of course, Jesse Johnson is normally a safety. He's pressed into a corner because Lynn and Dykes are pretty well banged up. From the 15, first and 10 for Lynn Dickey. In motion is Kaufman, the tight end. They'll stay on the ground at Jerry Ellis. Ellis running laterally and might have lost a yard.
Yeah, Ellis really didn't do a good job of running that time. He ran sideways, ran east and west, instead of trying to get his nose into a seam and getting as much as he possibly could on the play. There wasn't much running room, but at least you have to get upfield and try to get the most out of the play that you possibly can.
And they'll give him almost back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard shy of that. So second and a long 10 at the 15. Harlan Huckleby are the running backs. And this time it's Ellis straight ahead, and he's out across the 25 and driving to about the 28-yard line. A quick burst for 13 yards and a first down easily.
The defense of the New York Jets is a very aggressive defense. Their front four, they come across, they're tough. They're in the gaps a lot. That time they ran a trap. Leotis Harris, their right guard, trapping the defensive right tackle. Beautiful play, good execution on the run.
So the ball just shy of the Packer 29-yard line, first and 10. Jefferson goes right, Lofton is left, and Ellis is in motion to the left. Dickey with all backs releasing, throwing low, didn't have a good grip on the ball. It was intended for John Jefferson.
It looked like Dickey rolled just slightly that time, and as he planted his right foot, it slipped a little bit. That's why he didn't have anything on the ball that went into the turf and falls incomplete. But the real key was the fact that he could not set up well, and his right foot slipped.
Up front, you're looking among others at Joe Klecko. He and Mark Gastineau with 18 sacks. Jecko, a kid who didn't play until his senior year in high school. And what a career he's already had. Second and 10 now for Lynn Dickey. Both backs releasing. Dickey low over the middle, no good. That was intended for the tight end, Paul Kaufman.
Dickey is very concerned about the footing. He slipped again that time, and after the play, he threw it poorly into the ground. After the play, he was scratching and digging. There was a penalty on the play.
Offense. Offense, number 71. Holding, refused, third down.
So the penalty, as you heard, refused. Our referee was Fred Silva, the umpire Ralph Moorcroft, the head linesman Frank Glover, and the line judge is Vern Marshall. Back judge Jim Carney, the side judge Merrill Douglas, and the field judge is Don Orr. So third and 10 for the Pack on their own 29. 7-0 Jets. Lofton and Kaufman is left. Jefferson out wide to the right. Dickey going to be sacked by Klecko at the 20-yard line. So Joe Klecko's 19th sack. That gives the New York Sack Exchange 59 sacks.
Mark Honkar, number 79, the offensive left tackle, does not handle Klecko on the play. He runs around the outside of the block and makes the sack. I think one thing that you have to do if you're going to throw the ball a lot, you must keep a back helping the tackle on Klecko and also Gastineau on the other side. You're not going to be able to block them all afternoon, just one-on-one with the offensive tackles.
Ray Stachowicz gets a good snap this time and gets the kick away. And Harper, standing at his 41, got away from Whitaker, but he's going to be down almost in the identical spot, picked up about 4 yards from the time Whitaker hit him at the 40. He got it back to the 44. So Stachowicz got it away, and the New York Jets are in excellent field position with 11 minutes left in the first quarter. And the New York Jets, thanks to a block punt, leading 7-0. Bart Starr, standing in the New York sunshine, has seen his Packers a little slow, just picking up 1 first down in their 2 possessions. And now the Jets, with 11 minutes left in the first quarter, leading 7-0, have it on their own 45. 1st and 10. Lamb Jones in motion, and it'll be Freeman McNeil, and he is hammered by Rich Wingo at about the 44, and he drives across for a yard and picks up 1 to the 46. So it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Wingo, the inside linebacker, really did a good job of reading the play and getting in the gap to make that tackle.
Durking is now in the backfield along with Harper. Harper goes out on a wing, though there are 4 eligible receivers right now with Harper in motion. And Todd is going to send it out. Deep down the middle, picked off by Mark Murphy, and Murphy goes down at the Packer 41-yard line. So Mark Murphy, who is called the most improved of the defensive backs 1 year out of West Liberty, intercepts the pass of Richard Todd, intended for Lamb Jones.
They were in a zone that time, and they tried to pierce the zone right down the hash marks, but Murphy, number 37, great anticipation, got a good jump on the ball, intercepted it, goes down the right side, and is finally tackled there by number 85, Wesley Walker.
'23-year-old Mark Murphy's 3rd interception of the year, the Packers' 30th, and they have it 1st and 10 on their own 41. They'll stay on the ground with Ellis. Ellis bumped into back Carlin Huckleby and got about to the 44-yard line. A pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
2 things that are very important when you play against a team that plays a defense like the Jets. Number 1, as I mentioned earlier, they're very, very aggressive. You have to trap the defensive tackles and ends. You also should be able to run screens, and you should also be able to run a lot of draws because they come up the field very strong.
2nd and a long 6 for the Pack. The ball just shy of the Green Bay 45-yard line. Kaufman in motion. And it'll be the 2nd man, Harlan Huckleby, but he runs into people and down he goes. Among others to hit him with Greg Buttle and Lance Mell. The Packers had gotten the ball only out to their 29 in their 2 previous possessions, and now at the interception they finally find themselves in pretty good field position.
The important thing is, however, when you have good field position, you must take advantage of field position and do something with it.
Well, we'll see what they can do. 3rd and 6 from the 45. They send Lofton right and Jefferson left. And now they're going to load up the right side as Jefferson in motion. Ellis staying in the block. Dickey, with a little time, finds Lofton, and he gets away from Johnson and is finally slung out of bounds by Darrell Ray, but he goes out at the 36-yard line of New York, and that's a 1st down.
The key to the play, Lofton, number 80, is working on the left cornerback, Jesse Johnson, number 27. But the important thing is that Lofton came back. He came back for the ball, which is a big play, and that was the reason why he was able to make that reception.
Joe Klecko is out of the ball game for the moment, and Kenny Neal comes in to give him a brief respite. And it is 1st and 10 Packers on the Jets' 36-yard line. Lofton left and Jefferson right. Dickey losing the ball for the moment, and a pileup. And it is going to be a moment until we find out, and the Packers recovered it.
You couldn't tell whether Dickey came out of there too quickly. He just did not get the ball from the center, McCarron, that time. There was a bad mesh, bad exchange between the quarterback and the center, and the ball popped up into the air, and they're very, very lucky to be able to recover that fumble.
And they only lost 2 yards, so it'll make it 2nd and 12 from the Jet 38. 7-0 New York. We have 8:23 left in the first quarter as Bart Starr and Walt Michaels, two fellas, as we mentioned at the top of the show, who are under the shadow of being fired, have certainly squared their teams around. Hoffman in motion, and Dickey on a deep drop over the middle. Hard hit. The intended receiver was Ellis. He was hit by Greg Buttle, and there's a flag on the play. Boy, Buttle really belted him.
Boy, that was really a terrific hit by Buttle, number 51.
That's a Joe Paterno Penn State hit. The penalty will be against Green Bay. And here's Fred
Offense. Delay. Number 12. 2nd down.
So a delay of game penalty against Lynn Dickey for 5 yards.
You know, Vin, in obvious passing situations and 2nd and long, Green Bay has to run some traps to slow down that rush, because if they don't, they're going to be in trouble. Even if they don't make a lot of yardage, they still have to trap their defense to keep them at home and keep them on the line of scrimmage.
So it's 2nd and about 17. The ball on the Jets' 43-yard line. Remember, they had 1st and 10 on the 36. Lewis in motion as the tight end. And Dickey has it picked off by Lance Mel. And Mel is down at the Jets' 40-yard line. Lance Mel, who in the words of Joe Paterno was as good a linebacker as I've ever had at Penn State, coming off a concussion, makes the interception.
There we see Dickey back into the pocket. Protection is good. He steps up into the pocket. And Lance Mel, number 56, is really the only guy that was open on the play. He comes in there, makes the interception, and the Jets have possession, 1st and 10 on the 40.
So the Packers, after Mark Murphy's interception, had great field position, got it down to the Jets' 36, only to surrender it to Lance Mel. And now Richard Todd and the Jets will take over, 1st and 10, with 7 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The Green Bay Packer bench trying to stay warm. We were talking to Mrs. Bart Starr before the game. She said, we haven't had a day this cold in Green Bay. So 1st and 10 at the Jet 40-yard line. Lamb Jones going left, Wesley Walker right, and now Jones comes to Walker. They'll go on the ground to Freeman McNeil, and McNeil pulls his way across the 45-yard line. And with that, let's go to Brent Musburger for an update in New York.
Vinny, the Philadelphia Eagles strike first on St. Louis. Jaworski 4 yards to Charlie Smith. The big news out of Tampa Bay, the Bucs lead the Lions by a field goal. Denver by 3 over Chicago. Back to you in Shea Stadium.
It is 2nd and 5 on the Jets' 45-yard line. Kevin Long is in there now with Freeman McNeil, and they go slot left with Walker and Lamb Jones. And it's Kevin Long into Packer territory. So Long alternating with Tom Newton, driving it through.
One thing you have to be impressed with regard to the offense of the New York Jets. The offensive line are Chris Ward, Rasmussen, Fields, Alexander, Apollo. Boy, they're terrific, and that was a great illustration of the great surge they had on that last play.
And Walt Michaels alternating Newton and Long, and Newton is back in there now, number 44, to join Freeman McNeil. Walker and Lamb Jones both on the left side, and they'll stay on the ground. And Freeman McNeil breaking tackles to the Packer 40 and driving to the 38-yard line. Freeman McNeil, who was sound and really running, coming off a bad foot.
They send a man in motion. They run to the right. The left guard is pulling on the play, Rasmussen. McNeil does a good job of finding the running room, runs with good vision, and makes a nice gain on the play.
They talk about Freeman McNeil as the best at his position since Emerson Boozer carried the leather for New York. And he has a first down, so they'll try him again, and there he goes. He's across the 35, and they'll stack him down around the 32-yard line to pick up another first down.
Nothing fancy. Right now, the offensive line of the New York Jets are dominating the line of scrimmage, and that's why they're able to run as well as they're running at this stage of the game.
We were talking before about all pros, and there are a couple of them up front. Joe Fields, the center, and Marvin Powell, two of the offensive linemen for the Jets, have been named to the Pro Bowl. 1st and 10 on the 32-yard line of the Packers. 7-0 New York. Slot left with Jones and Walker. Richard Todd gonna flip it, intended for Lamb Jones, and he just plain overthrew him. He had Jones all alone, and he let it get away.
He really wanted to throw the ball to Barkham, number 83, who was anchored on the right side. He took a look over here, wanted to throw here, but he was jammed at the line of scrimmage, and very wisely went back across the field, was not ready to. He didn't plant and throw as well as he should have. As a result, the ball went over the top and goes incomplete.
And you can see the men who have been selected: James Lofton for Green Bay, and Messrs. Fields, Gastineau, Klecko, and Powell for the Jets. So it is 2nd and 10 from the 32. Todd with a lot of time, finally unloading to the right side. No good. It was intended for Lamb Jones, and had Mark Lee been able to hang on to it, he was off to the races.
Yeah, it'd have been a bye-bye blues had he been able to make that interception, but the impressive thing that time was the fact that the Jets had all the time in the world to throw the ball that time. Talking about Todd, the pass protection was excellent.
So it is 3rd and 10. Mark Lee thinking of what might have been. He's a 2-year man out of Washington. Harper and Durking are now the running backs behind Todd. Lamb Jones left and Wesley Walker wide right. And Todd throwing and completing it to Lamb Jones at the 22, and Jones finally gets inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Got away from Mike McCoy, who had to come back to get him.
It was a one-on-one, and Todd that time rolled a little bit to his left. A good outside move by Lamb Jones, who makes the reception and makes the defensive back McCoy miss the tackle, number 29, and for that reason he was able to pick up another 6 yards on the play.
So the ball is now on the Packers' 17-yard line. Remember, the Jets started this drive after the interception by Lance Mel on the Jets' 40-yard line, and they moved down to the Packers' 17 where they have it 1st and 10. McNeil and Newton are the running backs again behind Todd. Play action fake to Newton. Todd going in the end zone. Lamb Jones, touchdown.
They were lucky that time. They had Lamb Jones and Wes Walker both flagged down on the play.
So there'll be a flag on the play. They'll call it back. The saddest of words. And they'll bring it back to the 28-yard line.
Offense. Number 72. Holding.
And they were really lucky on that play because of the reception, because Wesley Walker really and Lamb Jones were right there in the same spot. One BB would have got both of them. They were so close together.
So the man who was caught guilty of the infraction is the 4-year veteran Chris Ward. So it is back to 1st down. 1st and about 20. Kevin Long with McNeil on a wing. Todd has the pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. And we can take a look to see if it was big Mike Butler, who's the tallest man up front at 6'5".
Yeah, I think you're right, Ben. It was Butler, number 77. He rolls to his left, semi-roll, and tries to throw back across the other side of the field. Butler gets a piece of the ball, deflects it, and it falls incomplete.
So it is 2nd and 20 on the Packer 27-yard line. Richard Todd and the Jets leading 7-0. Wesley Walker goes wide right, and Lofton now is in a slot. And Bobby Jones goes wide left. Harper and Durking, and it's Durking, and he's got daylight. Durking down to the 15-yard line, finally grabbed by Cumbie, the linebacker who had to came over to pull him down.
It looked like it might have been a trap, but it wasn't. It looked like it was a trap, but it wasn't. Rasmussen, 66, does a good job of sealing the inside, and Durking, number 25, the fine halfback from Purdue University, pops through there for a big gain.
So third down and 8 yards to go for the Jets. The ball is on the Packers' 16-yard line. Wesley Walker right, and they go slot left. Todd going to the right side, no good. The intended receiver was Wesley Walker, and the ball shot out of his grasp like it hit a spring.
You know what it did? It hit his shoulder pad. He didn't get a chance. He didn't get a chance to catch it in his hands. Anytime that happens and it hits the shoulder pads, it's going to bounce out just like it did. Todd back into the pocket. Watch his right foot. Throwing low to Wesley Walker. It hits the shoulder pad and bounces out.
So Pat Leahy with Ryan holding. The hold will be at the 23, so it's a 33-yard field goal attempt by Leahy. It is no good. So Pat Leahy, who was 25 out of 34 and had hit 20 of his last 24 field goal attempts, but he doesn't hit this one. And the Jets are denied, although they continue to hold on to a 7-0 lead, 3:23 in the first. The Jets leading Green Bay 7-0, but Green Bay just dodged a bullet when Pat Leahy missed his 33-yard field goal attempt. And so the Packers will put it in play, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Lynn Dickey got his club as far as the Jets' 36. That's the furthest penetration. Jefferson goes right, Lofton left, Kaufman in a flex as the tight end, and now in motion. Play action fake to Ellis. And the pass is complete to Jefferson at the 35-yard line. And Jefferson dropped at about the 36. And the man who hit him is that man, Jesse Johnson, they figured to pick on.
Yes, and Jesse Johnson is going to get a lot of business this afternoon. They're going to work on him. They've done so already. John Jefferson trying to get off the line of scrimmage. Slipped and fell. The ball's thrown right at the numbers in front of Jesse Johnson. And I think anytime they have a one-on-one with him, they're going to try to get the ball out there to the receiver.
So 1st and 10 on the Packer 36. As Dickey picked up 16 yards with that pass. He'll go to Ellis, and Ellis drives for a couple to about the 38. You know, you're going to see a lot of number 27, Kenny Johnson. Not only is Johnson a safety who is playing corner, he also has a hyperextended knee, and they're asking him to cover one of the great tandems in NFL football, Lofton and Jefferson.
Well, you would think that the Jets would tell Green Bay about that so they wouldn't pick on him like they would.
The decent thing to do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Minnesota leading Kansas City 3-0 early in the first quarter. 2nd and 7. In motion, the ball at the Packer 39. It's a draw to Ellis, but the middle was clogged up, and green shirts stop him at the 40-yard line. So they tried to open up the middle, but it wasn't open.
The mesh between a quarterback that time and Ellis was not very good. They bumped into each other on the draw play, and for that reason they didn't succeed in doing a better job than they did. Watch the mesh between the quarterback 12 and Ellis. There's a little confusion, a little indecision on the play. Ellis had enough composure to try to break outside. Didn't have much of a chance to do much as far as yardage is concerned, but did get the ball upfield and did the best he could on the play.
So about 3rd and 5.5 for the Pack. The ball on the Green Bay 40. Gary Lewis in motion as the tight end. Dickey has it intended for Jefferson, in and out of the hands of Jesse Johnson, and Greg Buttle also stuck a finger in the pie, number 51.
Here we see Jefferson trying to stop, under control. Buttle, anticipation is excellent and almost came up with the interception. Great play by Greg Buttle, number 51.
So Ray Stachowicz standing on the Packer 25-yard line. Bruce Harper is standing on the Jets 20-yard line. Stachowicz hoping for a good snap, and there's Harper. Charlie Ani is the snapper for Green Bay, number 61. Slightly low snap and a lower line drive kick. hits at the 30 and rolls out of bounds. Ron Cassidy was the wideout, number 88, down there to watch it as it went out of bounds. Friends, this telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast for the use of the telecast without the express written consent of the New York Jets and the National Football League is prohibited. So the Jets, leading 7-0, will put it in play on their own 28-yard line. And Richard Todd, with his club out of the eye, that's Freeman McNeil and Tom Newton, and Lamb Jones in motion to the left, where Wesley Walker is flanked wide. On the ground to Freeman McNeil, and McNeil bobbing and weaving, looking for daylight, and he got out to about the 33. Chicago leading Denver 7-3 in the second quarter. That was a pass from Vince Evans to Walter Payton for the touchdown.
You have to be very impressed with the quick feet of Freeman McNeil. You talk about happy feet. He's really got them.
And, of course, he has had a bad foot. In fact, Walt Michaels was saying it might have been a break, that he's been rested the last couple of weeks, really, and really primed for this. 2nd and 5 on the Jets' 33. Straight ahead is Kevin Long, and he's out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Long and Newton are in and out of the ball game. Newton, a 5-year man, as is Long. He has about a yard to go as you look at Mike Douglas. And now coming over is George Cumby, the linebacker on the right side. And Cumby coming out, so they're looking pass right now. Maurice Harvey along with Mark Murphy, Mark Lee, and the quarter is running out. So the New York Jets leading Green Bay 7-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota, who invite you to see the completely redesigned 1982 Celica Supra at your local Toyota dealer. Oh, what a feeling to drive a Toyota. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Start of the second quarter, 3rd and 1, Jets on their own 37-yard line. It'll be the second man, Durking, and Durking picks up the first down and gets out to the 41-yard line. So we've seen them all, McNeil, Harper, Durking, Newton, and Long.
You know, I went out to watch them practice the other day. Here's a good shot, a running left. Unusual that they take the ball from the right side all the way over to the left side on a short yardage situation, but that's exactly what they did. Durking pops through the hole in good shape. Good blocking by Chris Ward, Rasmussen Fields, and the right guard, Dan Alexander.
There's a moment of concern, however. The New York Jets' Joe Klecko is in the dressing room having his foot x-rayed. 1st and 10 on the Jets' 41-yard line. It'll be Freeman McNeil, grabbed from behind, a good play by Mike Douglas, and he slithered away, as did the football. And let's see who recovered it. It's recovered by, well, indications are Green Bay. That's what it is. The Green Bay Packers recover. McNeil was hit from the side by Mike Douglas, tried to lunge forward, and the next thing you know, the football was loose. You're peering into the huddle like everybody else here in the stadium. Down at the bottom, among others, was Anderson and Cumby and Harvey, 3 Packers.
Here we see McNeil again, a kind of a draw play, running to the right. He's got the ball in the left arm. Pressure comes from the inside. They knock the ball loose, and it's finally recovered there by, it looked like Maurice Harvey. Harvey, number 23.
1st and 10 on the Jets' 44-yard line for Lynn Dickey. Jefferson is right and Lofton left. It's Ellison Huckleby, the running back. They'll stay on the ground with Harlan Huckleby, but the Jets nail him just about at the line of scrimmage at best. Time for another NFL update. And with that, let's go to Brett Musburger in New York.
Vinny, the Eagles have just struck again. Wilbert Montgomery from 9 yards out, and Philadelphia snapping back now with the pressure off. They want to host the wild card game next Sunday. Back to you and Shea.
Okay, Brent. Meanwhile, the Jets holding on to a 7-0 lead. It is 2nd and 9 for the Packers on the Jets' 43-yard line. Lofton right and Jefferson left. Kaufman, the tight end, is on the left side. And Dickey releasing to Huckleby, and Huckleby is at the 40 and is knocked out of bounds by Jesse Johnson inside the 40 at the 38-yard line. So they picked up 5, and it'll be 3rd and 4.
Huckleby that time on a little swing pass to the outside, number 25. Dickey delivers the ball perfectly. That kind of a pass you want to throw about a yard out in front of the number of the receiving back. It was thrown exactly right, precisely right, and he made a nice gain on the play.
So 3rd and 4 on the 38-yard line of the Jets after a Freeman McNeil fumble recovered by Maurice Harvey of Green Bay. Dickey's going to send it up over the middle, and he has got Ellis coming out of the backfield, but not enough for the first down. Ellis is down at the 37. There's a flag on the play.
And I think Marty Lyons gave the quarterback an extra little shot there. Let's see what they call, but I think perhaps that's what happened.
Yes, it'll be definitely against the Jets. Automatic first down for the Packers to keep the drive alive. And they will spot it at the 22-yard line.
Defense, number 93, unsportsmanlike conduct, roughing the passer.
So Marty Lyons, who is perhaps the most emotional up front, guilty of roughing the passer, and it'll be 1st and 10 on the Jets' 22. Marty out of Alabama, and Bear Bryant said he was the best lineman I've had.
And Kenny Neal is playing right in for the injured Joe Klecko, number 77.
Lofton left and Jefferson right as the Pack trying to get even. Ellis and Huckleby in the backfield. Play action fake to Ellis, who blocks Gastineau, and the pass is to Huckleby, and the reception is made right about in just enough for a first down, I believe. Right now, let's have another update from Brent Musburger in New York.
Benny, a development in Pontiac. The Lions have just gained the lead on Tampa Bay as Eric Hipple runs in from 9 yards out, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. Back to you and Shea.
So the Green Bay Packers, capitalizing on a Freeman McNeil fumble and starting on the Jets' 44, have 2nd and less than a yard. It was that close on that reception by Harlan Huckleby.
Looks like they might do something left.
Ball on the Jets' 13-yard line as a play-action fake, and then Ellis keeps the ball and they swallow him up. So Dickey giving to Ellis, and the Jets read it perfectly.
It looked like a draw play that time.
Yeah.
Unusual call on 2nd and short, but evidently, watch it now. Here we go back into the pocket with Dickey, giving the ball on a draw play to Ellis. And on that kind of a play, there was a seam straight ahead. You have to make a decision, right or wrong. You have to take the seam and get as much out of the play as you could. That time he tried to dance out of the trouble and lost yardage on the play.
So it's 3rd down and almost 3 for a first down. And again, they'll go to Ellis, and again, Ellis isn't going anywhere. And the New York Jets, fresh from a great goal line stand last week against Cleveland. The Browns had it 1st and goal on the 6, and they're just as tough out around their own 15.
Well, they're really coming off the ball very aggressively and making something happen. And really what they're doing, they're just controlling the line of scrimmage.
So Jan Stenerud entering today's game with 303 career field goals. The hold will be by Ray Stackowitz. Stackowitz will spot the ball at the 21. So it is a 31-yard field goal for Stenerud, who is 21 out of 23 this year. The spot, the hold, the kick, it's up. The kick is good. So Stenerud, who was unhappy, Hank, about the condition of the field, calmly goes out and kicks one through.
Yeah, if there's a greater kicker in the league than Jan Stenerud, I don't know where he is.
So Green Bay breaks the ice. The Jets leading 7-3 with 11:50 to the half. That field goal by Jan Stenerud ties him for 2nd place with Jim Turner. 31 field goals behind the great George Blanda. So it is 7-3 in favor of the Jets. 11:50 left to the half. Stenerud ready to kick it off. You have Sohn and Harper from the 6 to the 15. slowed down and dropped at the 20-yard line. The man who slowed him down was Cliff Lewis, number 56, the rookie out of Southern Mississippi. So Bruce Harper brings it out to the 20-yard line, and that's where the Jets will put it in play. 1st and 10.
You have to be impressed with the way the specialty team of the Green Bay Packers covered that kick. It was a low kick, got down on it very quickly, but they did a good job of covering on the play.
So 1st and 10 Jets. A full house, but they break it up now as Lofton goes in the slot inside Wesley Walker left. And Todd going up in the air. Over the middle to Newton. Newton is out across the 30, and there's a flag on the play as he is dropped at the 32-yard line by Rich Wingo. And it will be a holding penalty against the New York Jets.
Offense, number 72, holding. 1st down.
Well, that's the 2nd time that Chris Ward has been caught.
Number 72, watch him. That's the 2nd time he's been caught holding. Chris Ward, the offensive left tackle, holding on the play.
So he had his hands full of Casey Merrill on that play. And it'll be 1st and 20. The ball back on the Jets' 10-yard line. Kevin Long and Freeman McNeil are the running backs. In motion is the tight end, Jerome Barkham. But they're going to pass it to McNeil. He's at the 10, 15, dropped at about the 17-yard line as John Anderson, number 59, made the tackle.
McNeil has to, he delays, goes into the flat. The ball is thrown a little bit behind him. And for that reason, he's off stride, does not get up the field as quickly as he normally would have had the ball been thrown properly, but still he makes a fine play, a good gain on the play, and is finally tackled there by John Anderson, number 59.
So that's 2nd and 11 on the Jets' 19. Lamb Jones going wide right. Wesley Walker, a split end on the left side. And in motion goes Newton. It's a draw to Freeman McNeil, but it was read by Mike Douglas, number 53, and Douglas broke through to trip him up. Good play by the linebacker coming in on the right side.
53, Mike Douglas was blitzing on the play, and watching come from the outside. Number 53 in good position, low, gets the tackle, and on Freeman McNeil, and nails him in the backfield for about a yard loss.
Mike Douglas was last year's Green Bay's most valuable defensive player, and he comes up with a valuable play as other Packers think something else is very valuable. 3rd and 12 from the 18 of New York. Todd over the middle to Wesley Walker at the 35-yard line. Mike McCoy brings him down. 1st down, New York.
Watching him off the line of scrimmage, Wesley Walker, number 85, makes a little move inside, a little wiggle, breaks to the inside. McCoy, number 21, trying to close in. He does so, but not until after he makes the reception. 1st down, New York Jets.
We have 9 minutes and 36 seconds to the half. Wesley Walker's been out with an injured calf for 3 weeks. So, of course, a very valuable weapon now to be used by Richard Todd. 1st and 10 on the Jets' 35. Freeman McNeil butting heads and maybe picked up 2 yards.
One thing very obvious as you watch the two teams play, the Green Bay Packers are not putting any pressure whatsoever on the quarterback, Dick Todd.
9 minutes and 9 seconds to the half. 7-3, the Jets leading Green Bay. The Jets blocking a punt by Ray Stachowicz after a poor snap from center. They cashed it in. Green Bay recovering a fumble by Freeman McNeil. Eventually had a field goal by Stenerud. Go to 2nd and 7. Todd over the middle, no good. It would appear as if it was intended for Freeman McNeil coming out of the backfield, but it sailed high over his head and harmlessly hit the frozen ground.
And he threw that ball poorly that time because Mike Douglas, number 53, was blitzing on the play and got just a little piece of the quarterback, Richard Todd, as he delivered the football.
So that makes it 3rd and 7 for the New York Jets on their own 38-yard line.
And Green Bay's got 4 defensive linemen in the contest at this stage, with trying to put more pressure on the quarterback.
Lamb and Walker go right, and Durking is now in the backfield. And both Durking and Harper release. The pass is caught by the tight end Jerome Barkham as he crossed the 45, and he will pick up the first down as he is dropped at the 47-yard line.
Here again, the outside people, Johnson, number 90 specifically, and Butler are run right by the quarterback. He's got all the time in the world, delivers the ball beautifully to Barkham, who makes sure he does first things first, follows an orderly process, looks the ball into his hands, makes the reception. First down, New York Jets.
Remember, the Jets started on their own 20. They were penalized back to their 10. So really, from their own 10, they've moved the ball out to their 47, and they have it 1st and 10. Rather impressive numbers and a high-rent district cash for Jerome Barkham.
And the way the defensive ends are coming up the field, the draw play is going to be very effective somewhere along the line.
Todd is going to release a little swing to Harper, but right there with him was big Mike Butler. So had Harper made the reception, I think Butler would have served more than T.
Boy, he just served him right in the platter, right in the backfield that time. And Butler is 6'5", 265, played his collegiate football at the University of Kansas.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 on the Jets 47. Here's Kevin Long coming in again. We've seen all 5 of the running backs: McNeil, Harper, Durking, Newton, and Long.
2nd and 10.
So Kevin Long is in there with Freeman McNeil on a 2nd and 10 from the 47 of the Jets. Setting up at the 40, throwing deep to Lamb Jones, and it is broken up at the last moment by Mark Murphy, number 37, and there's a flag on the play.
And that time he tried to throw deep that time, and he kept both backs in the backfield to make sure he had maximum security on the play. He had plenty of time to throw the ball, try to throw the ball deep downfield to Lamb Jones if there's a penalty on the play.
The preliminary signal, it is against Green Bay, much to the delight of the sellout crowd at Shea. Here's Fred Silva.
Holding, defense, number 59. First down.
Holding charge against John Anderson, the linebacker on the left side. So the Jets picking up a first down on the Packer 47, and look what Philadelphia is doing now. An 18-yard run by Hubie Oliver makes it 21-0 over St. Louis. 1st and 10 from the Packer 47. Out to Durking, and Durking grabbed by Butler and then belted by Wingo, and out he goes.
You know, not to practice the other day, talked to the coaches, Walt Michaels and Jim Royer, the director of player personnel for pro scouting, and he talked about the offensive backs of the Jets: Harper, Long, Durking, Newton, all of whom they have great respect for. They don't care who they play because they're all the same kind of backs. They dance every dance. They give you 100% all the time. They're steady, dependable. They're good blockers, and that's why they interchange them as much as they do.
We have 7:39 left of the half, with the Jets leading 7-3. Walker and Lamb in a slot left. Cumbie flaking a blitz, and here comes McNeil, and he gets across the 45-yard line. So Freeman McNeil, as Walt Michaels looks on.
John Anderson.
Cumbie that time was going to blitz, trying to anticipate the count. Richard Todd did a good job of changing the rhythm. He did not go in the same rhythm as he did the previous play, and for that reason he caught him off balance a little bit, and they were able to do a good job of coming off the ball and picking up good yardage on the play.
So it's 3rd and 6 for the Jets. The ball is on the Packer 43-yard line. 7 minutes and 3 seconds of the half, as you see Zeke Bratkowski on the left talking upstairs. Now Richard Todd getting a timeout after a little discussion with Fred Silva. So with 6 minutes and 58 seconds to the half, an angry Richard Todd, and the Jets are leading Green Bay 7-3. The Jets breaking the huddle on a 3rd and 6 from the 44-yard line. Wesley Walker, number 85, coming left. Derek Gaffney is in a slot, and Lamb Jones is wide right.
The outside receivers have a lot of room.
Bruce Harper leaving the backfield, and the pass is to Harper at the 35, and he fumbles, and it is picked up by Green Bay, and it was picked up by Estes Hood, number 38, but it might have been whistled dead. Yep. Estes Hood fell on the ball. Let's take another look. They're going to give it back to the Jets.
They're very concerned about the outside receivers as a stunt inside. And he dumps the ball off inside to Harper, number 42. Watch, all the time in the world to throw the ball. Delivers the ball to Harper, who makes the reception. Stops. The defensive player overruns him. Harvey cuts back to the inside. He's hit. The ball is fumbled, but they give it back to the Jets.
1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. Freeman McNeil grabbed by the ankles by Mike Douglas, and by the head Casey Merrill and Rich Wingo. And with that, another NFL update. We'll go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Vinny, here's that Hubert Oliver touchdown for the Eagles, and now St. Louis has mailed its season in, so it means more than ever the Giants are dependent now on the Jets beating the Packers to get into the playoffs. Back to you and Shea.
Okay, Brent, that just adds more to this New York story, where the Giants at home after their big win yesterday, now rooting for the Jets. It is 2nd and 8 on the Packer 28-yard line. Todd looking left and throwing over there. He's got Lamb Jones, and Lamb Jones is brought down by Mike McCoy at the Packer 21-yard line.
Here he comes off the line of scrimmage. Breaking a move to the outside. Mike McCoy is covering man for man, closes in, but a little late, and doesn't make the play until after Lamb Jones makes the reception, and another very close to the first down.
Not quite enough, however. 3rd down and a little less than a yard to go for the Jets. Remember, they started on their own 20. They were penalized to their own 10, and then they got it in gear. And here they are, 3rd and 1 on the 21. Kevin Long for the first down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
And we find out that Klecko has a sprained foot. He may or may not return. We're not quite sure yet.
So Kevin Long picks up the first down. He was the first 1,000-yard rusher in the history of South Carolina. 5-year man who was a 7th-round draft choice 4 years ago by the New York Jets. 1st and 10. Ball just across the Packer 20-yard line. 7-3 in favor of the Jets. 4 minutes and 22 seconds to the half. Freeman McNeil and Newton, the running backs. Play action fake to McNeil, and Todd now releasing to Newton, who can't make the reception, and he might have been looking at Rich Wingo, who was right there ready to lower the boom.
He tries to hit Newton that time from a play action fake into the right flat. Good fake on the play, but the ball is not complete and winds up being 2nd and long.
Tom Newton, of course, in his days at the University of California, his reputation was a blocking back for Chuck Muncie, but he's done a great job in the backfield for the Jets. 2nd and 10 from the Packer 20-yard line. And it's Kevin Long, and Long gets to the 11-yard line and is finally stopped at about the 10. Kevin Long bursting through, and that should be just about enough. We'll have to check and see. Not quite. Less than a yard again. A half a yard for a first down.
Joe Fields, the offensive center, does a good job of blocking Terry Jones, number 63. They go straight ahead. The surge by the right guard, Alexander, and Rasmussen was excellent, and for that reason he was able to pop through there for a big game.
The ball is just shy of the 10-yard line. They have to cross it for the first down. And Durking crosses it, I believe, to pick up the first down. So Scott Durking, who was 2nd in his career rushing to the great Otis Armstrong at Purdue. Durking, not a flashy back. They call him the Coke machine, the way he's built. He's 5'10", 220 pounds.
Yeah, he's very sturdy, very strong, and has excellent balance.
So they're coming in now, Freeman McNeil, a fresh back, and it is 1st and goal on the Packer 9. McNeil and Newton are behind Todd. Walker is wide left, joined by Lamb Jones. Todd pitching to McNeil. He's got Alexander and Barkham, but they can't block. And grabbing him was John Anderson, number 59. He did a good job as both Alexander and Barkham were trying to pull the block for him.
Yes, John Anderson, number 59, the left linebacker, really does a super job of playing the tight end.
John Anderson, by the way, has had his left arm broken 3 times. You might notice a protective device on that left arm. He even had a bone graft from his hip to the arm. So indeed he wants to play after going through all that pain. So it is 2nd and goal from about the 10. Todd low to his man Durking, and Durking at the 5 and has dropped at the 3. Scott Durking making the reception and then on his own picking up about 6 yards.
And he does a very smart thing. He has good anticipation here. He makes the catch. He figures that the defense is going to come from the inside out, perhaps maybe overrun the play. He turns to the inside, and gets away from the defensive linebacker.
John Anderson.
Anderson again that time, and gets up the field and picks up about 4 or 5 extra yardage on the anticipation of the play.
So with exactly 2 minutes left to the half, the Jets leading the Packers 7-3, and the Jets are on a roll to the 3-yard line. If the Jets needed another emotional lift, they get it. There is Joe Klecko. He had his foot x-rayed in the dressing room, and apparently he is fit and ready to return to the ward. Meanwhile, it is 3rd and goal from the 3. Durking and Harper in the backfield behind Todd.
Looks like something right, perhaps.
They're going to go with Harper. Touchdown. Harper's 4th touchdown of the year rushing.
And Rasmussen and Fields and Alexander all do a good job of blowing them off the ball again.
A flag on the kick. So let's wait a minute. The kick was good, but a flag on the play.
There is a flag on that play. The kick was real good.
Offsides against Green Bay. So the point is good. And it is 14-3 Jets with 1:57 to the half.
Second quarter score.
The New York Jets with 20 plays. Remember, they started on their own 20, then they were penalized to their own 10, and they went on to go 90 yards for the touchdown, although officially they'll be credited with 80. Harper bangs it over. Pat Leahy kicking low and hard to the right side, juggled by Mike McCoy, and he's still going to run it out. Oh, my goodness, what a gamble by McCoy.
It really wasn't a gamble. It was just a bad play, Ben.
Gee whiz.
He evidently did not know where he was. I don't know why in the world, after fumbling the ball, he wouldn't just keep it in the end zone. Instead, he elected to try to run it out. And he gets nailed right about the 5-yard line.
And the man who nailed him, who was so excited going off the field, was Marty Wetzel, the rookie out of Tulane. So a bad play. That's about the only thing you could call it for Mike McCoy, and for Bart Starr, who has already seen the Packers have so much trouble moving the ball. They start on their own 5-yard line. And Joe Klecko returns to the Wars on the right side. 1st and 10 from the 5. It'll be Ellis. And Ellis bangs it out to about the 9-yard line. A tough purchase of 4 yards for Jerry Ellis.
On the tackle.
Ellis, you know, among other things, file it away, and certainly not now in this field position, but he has thrown the ball twice. We might think about that much later in the game.
Yeah, and he's caught 61 passes.
Here's a little one to Ellis, and he's going to be ridden out of bounds. Right there with him was Greg Buttle when he made the reception. Meanwhile, a very big game in Detroit, and look at that. The Lions, who haven't lost at home, have been stung. An 84-yard pass from Doug Williams to Kevin House, and Tampa on top 10-7 in the second quarter. 1:27 to the half. The Packers have it on their own 8-yard line. So it is 3rd and 7. Ellis and Huckleby behind Lynn Dickey. And Dickey will send it up under a pressure, and let's see, very close. They're going to put it inside the 1-yard line. Very close for the safety.
Flag down on the play, and I think Joe Klecko was offside, the defensive right end. I'm not sure, but it looked like maybe Joe was offside.
Lynn Dickey swallowed up inside the 1, but instead the New York Sack Exchange, which is very much in business today, but this time guilty of the offside. That'll move the ball out to the 16.
Offside, 7-3. Defense, 3rd down.
Klecko with 19, Gastineau with 18. Those are some of the individual making up the Sack Exchange. Remember, they came in with 57. Oakland back in 1967 had 67 sacks. That's the most. But Klecko is in business. 3rd and 3. The ball on the 13-yard line. A fumble by Dickey, and he dropped on it. So Lynn Dickey having a lot of trouble getting out of the starting gate.
Yeah, another bad. It's the second time that's happened between he and McCarron, the offensive center. You can't tell whether he's backing out of there too quickly or whether there's got to be something wrong, but it's got to be the responsibility of the center to make sure he gets that ball up properly to the quarterback.
And of course, you remember that Charlie Ani, who does the snapping, snapped one in the dirt that was eventually blocked and led to the Jets' first touchdown. So the Packers having trouble right in the middle. Of course, that's the unsung position of a football team anyway.
Yeah, it really is. It surely is.
So it is 4th and 3. The ball at the 12-yard line of the Packers.
The sad thing about it is the only time he gets any notification of any kind is when he makes a bad play.
Yeah, when was the last time you came to a ballpark and heard somebody say, "Great snap"?
Yeah, that's right.
So on a 4th down, 4th and 3, Ray Stackowitz, the rookie out of Michigan State, who's averaged 40 yards a punt and his longest 72 this year. Stackowitz will be punting, and Bruce Harper standing at midfield for the Jets. We have 1 minute and 18 seconds to the half. Sohn, Lynn, and Dykes are going to put pressure coming in on the left side. And Whitaker is the wideout trying to get downfield to get at Harper. Stackowitz got it away, and Harper retreating to his 40-yard line, turned at his own 38, and the white shirts will bury him at about the 45.
Well, I tell you, Stackowitz pummeled that ball that time. He got a great kick.
So 1st and 10 for the Jets on their own 45 with 1 minute and 6 to the half. 14-3 New York. That's Durking taking the pass from Richard Todd across midfield, finally brought down by Estes Hood at the Packer 47-yard line. The Jets not huddling with 51 seconds. They would have gone to board one more time before halftime. Todd deep down the right side to Lamb Jones. He's gone.
Semi-roll to the right side. Good protection. He delivers the ball right on the money to Lamb Jones, who runs right by Mark Lee. Right over the top. A beautiful thrown ball. Makes the reception. Touchdown. New York Jets.
And Leahy puts the seal of approval on it. So the New York Jets have Pat Leahy bang it through, and they're sitting on top of the world 21-3, and so are the Giants. The New York Jets leading Green Bay 21-3 with 42 seconds to the half. Leahy kicking high but short, and it'll be handled by Mike McCoy at the 13, to the 25, to the 26-yard line, and McCoy is jammed there with 37 seconds to the half. Bart Starr, of course, still trying to get over the ill effects of that bad play by Mike McCoy. Gave them no field position. Then Stachowicz punted, and immediately Richard Todd connected for the 55-yard touchdown pass to beat Lamb Jones. The last time Starr came to New York when it really meant something was December 20th, 1962, when Green Bay beat the Giants 16-7 in the National Football League championship game. In 1962, the other New York team was the New York Titans. First and 10 from the 27 for Dickey. He loses the ball, and Green Bay recovered. And Mark Gastineau going wild. Gastineau, who once in training camp, they tell us, tore a face mask completely off a rookie's helmet with his bare hands, is the most emotional of all the Jets, and he just showed it. Gastineau earlier, when he made his 19th sack, tied Jerry Philbin. And look at Gastineau as time has run out. 3 years out of Central Oklahoma and having a ball.
Happiness in the air for the New York Jets.
So far.
The first half.
So Mark Gastineau, along with the rest of the Jets, leading the Green Bay Packers 21-3 as we go to halftime at Shea Stadium here in New York.
Welcome back to the News Desk in New York. I'm Brent Musburger with Irv Cross. If the playoffs started 15 minutes from now, it would be the Giants over in Philadelphia to take on the Eagles, and the Bills would be in here to play the Jets. But there's still a lot of football to go. But it doesn't look as though the St. Louis Cardinals are going to do a thing. As we check the scoreboard, the Philadelphia Eagles are all over them, 21-0. You know, Irv, I think Dick Vermeil had the pressure off this football team today, and Ron Jaworski got their first touchdown to Charlie Smith, and then pick it up with Jaworski to Billy Campfield.
Billy Campfield is a sure-handed receiver with pretty good speed, Brent. Watch what happens here when he gets hit. Gets hit, bobbles the ball, and Calvin Favorite of the Cardinals recovers.
How about our guy, Wilbert Montgomery? He looks healthy.
Oh, boy, when he's healthy, he's very difficult to stop. Spins here, spins there. 9 yards later, he goes in for a touchdown.
Hubert Oliver then ran it in from the 18-yard line, and it was 21-0 Eagles. And what kind of a day, Irv, on the other side of the line is big O.J. Anderson having for the Cardinals?
O.J. Anderson's having a difficult time moving the ball. He's hit right here. That Eagles defense, everybody knows, the swarming defense. John Bunting, who's been out of the lineup a lot this year with a variety of injuries, picks up the fumble and puts his team in scoring position.
And Irv, the Eagles have just struck again. Jaworski to Carmichael. Right now it is 27-0. Awaiting Tony Franklin's extra point. How's the weather in Philadelphia? Almost as nasty as it is in New York and Shea Stadium this afternoon. Now elsewhere, the Chicago Bears, in some miserable weather of their own, may have derailed the Denver Broncos 14-3. If the Broncos win, they capture the AFC West. If they lose, they have to wait and see what happens to the San Diego Chargers tomorrow night to the Oakland Raiders. Kansas City and Minnesota are tied a field goal apiece at the half. San Francisco is on the board, but New Orleans has come back now. They are deadlocked at 7. Joe Montana got the 49ers rolling. He went to tight end Charlie Young, who broke free at the 11-yard line and crashed in the end zone. But again, the Saints have come back, and that talented rookie from South Carolina, George Rogers, has scored the Saints touchdown in that game. New England and Baltimore playing for the top draft choice next year, with the Patriots ahead 7-3 in the first quarter of that game. Tampa Bay and Detroit. The NFC Central Division Championship is on the line, and what a dramatic turnaround. Look at the sack here of Doug Williams. I mean, he is ripped by the Lions on that play, but he came right back in. And then it was Eric Hippel's turn. Leroy Selman was able to take him down. And then Hipple finally got the Lions rolling when he got into the end zone, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. It was 7-3. Cedric Brown intercepted a Hipple pass as he was going in again. And then came the dramatic play of the half. Doug Williams was set up on first down. He came to the line of scrimmage, noticed something, went to the audible. Kevin House on the fly pattern, 84 yards for a touchdown, and the Buccaneers now are in command of that game. Hipple has suffered a pinched nerve. We do not believe that it is serious. 10-7, the Bucs over the Lions at the half. Green Bay and the New York Jets, the game you're watching, 21-3, and the Giants are letting up a big cheer over that. And the NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations. If you can take time out from making your list for Santa, what about a list of the greatest running backs in NFL history? But before you complete it, consider the often overlooked candidate Jack Whitaker looks at in Legends of the Game.
As a sprinter on the 1952 United States Olympic team, he won 2 medals, a silver and a bronze. As a professional football player, he was one of the most exciting ball carriers in the history of the game. His name is Ollie Matson. Ollie Matson was the most imposing physical specimen of his era, a 215-pound speedster who could challenge a tackler at the scrimmage line, then leave the entire defense grabbing air.
I think that my skills and my talents will stack up against the best. I could be going down the sideline, the opening, and the guys would be reaching. Acceleration, that's one thing that people don't really realize. You know, you can accelerate so fast, and the guy think he's got you, and he's just grabbing air. And this is what a lot of them would be doing. It means a lot to you when you do have the speed and know what to do with it. Now you see me, and now you don't.
In 1959, a historic 10-player deal sent Matson to the Los Angeles Rams. Matson was the only player the Rams received. In exchange, L.A. sent the Chicago Cardinals 9 players, nearly 1/3 their roster, for one extraordinary football player.
I was a complete football player. I could catch the ball, I could block, I could run the ball. In other words, they could use me almost any place they wanted me to. And of course, I've always said this, I was putting my stats up against anybody's stats. I would put my running ability up against anybody's running ability. And not just for me talking about it, but you go get the films. You look at it, you be the judge.
When football fans discuss the best running back of all time, they mention names such as Jim Brown, Gale Sayers, and O.J. Simpson. But one look at the old footage, and you can't help but feel that Ollie Matson deserves to be mentioned in the same conversation. In his 14th and final professional season, with his 4th team, the Philadelphia Eagles, he no longer could sprint the sideline uncontested, but he still could make men tackle his exhaust. He played his final season right here in Franklin Field with the Philadelphia Eagles in 1966. 6 years later, he was inducted into Pro Football's Hall of Fame, where he supposedly told a reporter, "I came along too soon. If I was playing today, I'd get so much money, I'd have to carry it in a shopping bag." And you know, he was probably right.
Irv, you mentioned another reason why Matson is not up there with the Browns and the Simpsons.
You know, he never played on a championship team. He was a tremendous running back, but because he was never on a world-beating team, people simply never thought of Ollie Matson as a great back, and he was super.
You played with him a year.
I did, yeah, in Philadelphia. He had a great game in Yankee Stadium in his 14th season. Timmy Brown went down with an injury. Ollie came in, ran for about 120 yards. It was a great day for him.
Oh, he was remarkable. And the NFL Today continues on CBS.
It's halftime at Shea Stadium in New York with the New York Jets leading the Green Bay Packers 21-3. Hi, everybody. Again, I'm Vin Scully along with Hank Stram. And you know, Hank, there's nothing like hindsight and there's nothing like technology to take the weight off a kid's shoulders. And we're talking about the play that involved Mike McCoy. Remember, we both talked about a poor gamble and a bad play. But here's the kickoff. And the important thing is to see where Mike McCoy first touched the ball and then what he did with it.
Yes, what happened really was it looked like, say, he's on about the 1-yard line, fumbled the ball, Then he takes it back into the end zone. Had he downed it in the end zone, it'd have been a safety, a 2-point play. And he had enough presence of mind, the composure, and understood what had to be done, tried to run it out, and did the best he could on the play.
And it was just one play of a myriad of troubles for Green Bay that started off really with Charliani's bad snap from center to Ray Stachowicz in the opening minutes.
Yes, but the difference in the game so far is definitely the offensive line of the New York Jets and the defensive line of the New York Jets. They're dominating the line of scrimmage. They're making things happen up front, and that's why they lead this game at this particular stage, 21-3.
And immediately the question comes, when you're being dominated like that, if you're the Packers, what can you do as time is running out on this question?
Well, I still think they have to run more traps and screens and keep that pressure off of their offensive line.